Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all-new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, January 30, 2025. So we started off with Leo and Marlene, and I always enjoy the scenes with them because, listen, they have such a great chemistry as friends. And Marlene is telling him that it's not a really good time. He just came over to really tell her the good news. He brought pastry over, so she's not really in the good mood because of catching her daughter and EJ in the act, on the same day. So anyways, Leo comes in and Leo's like, I can tell something is bothering you, like what's happening. So she just blurts out that she caught her daughter in bed, and he's like, was it with Sean? So she said no, and she doesn't want to really get into details about who it was with. So he started listing names, and then she just blurted it out, which is unlike her and her character. So she says, it's with EJ. So he's like, you caught him in bed naked. So she said, that's not really, the important detail. It's just that I'm upset that she'd really go down that lane again. And, especially I'm worried about what it might do to her and her sister Sammy's relationship, because this has happened before. So she also mentioned that Sean actually came over earlier, and he saw that Belle and EJ they really did the deed, because of course it was obvious that they weren't dressed properly, and that was really awkward. So anyways, Leo sits down and Leo shares his good news, because again he has to make it about him at some point. So he mentions to Marlena that him and Javi are back together, and he went to confront Carrie. They were in bed, but they didn't do the deed yet. So the Javi ousted Carrie, and then they got together, they kissed, and they just started being intimate. And Marlene is saying, do you think you're rushing? So he said, no, I mean, we've done this before. It's just because of my actions that's caused us to break up in the first place. But are you projecting? So she said, yes, maybe I'm projecting because of what happened with Belle and EJ, and I just really don't want to see you get hurt. So they really had a great moment, and they even solidified their thing as close friends than just patient and doctor. So it's also about Jada's and Rafe's big day, and Jada's just waking up because she's clearly hungover from yesterday's bachelorette party, and Gabby's just there to be supportive and to offer her some caffeine to help her get over it. So Jada is definitely anxious about today. She's wondering if she's gonna be in tip-top shape. So Gabby's saying, don't worry about it, I am here. Stephanie is gonna be here in a bit, so we'll be here to really get you prepared for the day, right? So moving on, because it was really a long conversation with the two of them. So Stephanie comes over and Gabby leaves because she said she has something to take care of, right? So Stephanie asks her how she's doing. So she said, I'm still recovering after 3 cups of caffeine from this hangover. So Stephanie said, it's not really that I'm asking you like, how are you mentally? How are you ready to, walk down the aisle? So she said that, I'm definitely, a little anxious because, I've been through this before, and, they talk about their whole thing with Everett/Bobby, and she used to be married to Bobby, and, how that turned out. And she's glad that, it brought them close together as friends, and, she's happy that Stephanie's here as a maid of honor. So, she also talked about how Rafe, she hasn't gotten a text message from Rafe, and she knows that they slept apart, and she understands that, but she was expecting a text message. So Stephanie was saying to her that it goes both ways. You could reach out to him as well, and she said, you're right. So at some point she did get a text message from him, but we'll discuss that later on. She also mentioned about how Rafe has been acting really funny, and just the past couple of days, how he's, just behaving, and she just thinks that something is up. And the fact that he's working for EJ, who is angry at her for, causing him to get fired from his job, and she just finds it completely weird. She feels as if something is really up, which it's really true. So remember, Gabby said that she was going to take care of something, right? So she went over to JJ's place, and she, of course, they're flirting with each other. And then she comes in and she said that she it's Jada and Rafe's wedding, so she has to be there. So he said, not that I don't want to you to be here, but why are you here? So she said, like, I'm here because I missed out one important detail. I wanted to invite you as my plus one, and he's flattered about it. And he said that, I know we haven't really been seeing each other for a long while, but I think this is a big step, and I really feel happy that you want to invite me. I was really waiting on if you would invite me or not. So she said, I know, I mean, I just didn't want to just overdo anything, right? So before he could accept her invitation, he gets a phone call from work saying that he needs to come in and stand on trial. So she said, okay, I understand, and I'll save you a piece of cake. And yeah, that was about it, right? So Arnold is just waking up, after what he did with the stripper the night before, right? So Javi comes over and he's surprised to see Javi because he doesn't know, he doesn't have a clue what's going down, right? So he said that I'm here to get you ready for the wedding, and I brought over some stuff because I know you had a wild night earlier. So he said that he's surprised at it because again, he didn't really do a background history on Rafe to act like Rafe, right? So anyways, he's like, are you getting ready now? And he said, like, I can do that by myself. I really wasn't expecting you over here. So at this point, the stripper comes out, right? Because we don't know her name. So she comes out in a towel, coming out from the shower, and she blurts out, is that room service? So she, they're surprised to see each other. And Javi's looking at Rafe with the meanest look, and he's saying, like, what's really going on here? So he said, I can explain. So she goes back in the room to change, and he said that she brought the scarf back from the bachelor party, and she was too drunk to drive home, so he offered her a space here to sleep. And he asked, like, where did she sleep? So he said it's she slept in the bed, he slept on the floor. So he said he doesn't buy it, he thinks it's BS. So he said, what, we did sleep together. So he's like, how could you do this? Betray Jada like this, and you slept with a stripper. So she said, I'm not a stripper, I'm an exotic dancer, and since I don't think room service is coming, I'm gonna leave, right, before I get more judged in here. So anyways, Javi's saying, like, well, how could you do this to Jada knowing that you're gonna marry her? And he said, like, no harm, no foul, we're not married yet, she's just my fiance, like, and you need to not have breathe a word of that to Jada. So he's like, Jada's my family too. And like he said, but I'm your real family, like, you need to just keep your mouth shut, stay loyal to me. So he doesn't like the idea of it, but he doesn't want to come in the way between them on their big day. So he said, you can get ready yourself, and he leaves, right? And Arnold asked him if he's gonna keep quiet. So he said, yeah, I don't know what has gotten into you, but I don't like it, right? So he goes into the square angry, huffing and puffing, and he sees Leo, and he's angry at Leo because he's saying that Leo caused this whole thing by this stripper, and that's what's messing up their wedding day, right? So I don't think you should blame Leo, because again, it's not Leo's fault that the stripper, it's not even the stripper's fault, right? She's single, it's actually Rafe or Arnold, as we say, right? But moving on. Speaking of real Rafe, it's his birthday today. EJ decides to come down there with a cupcake and birthday hats, and he's saying, I know it's her birthday, blow out the candle, make a wish. So he pulls off the gag, and Rafe just says, I wish you were dead. And EJ saying that you shouldn't say your wish out loud, right? It's not gonna come true. So he's like, you're not gonna get away with this. So I said, it might sound cliche, but I have gotten away with it. And he said, like, what do you want from me? So he said that I really want to have my revenge. I want Jada to be out of work. I'm going to make sure that I dig up some kind of dirt on her so that she can be out. And Arnold, acting as you, will get the commissioner job, and then he will talk to Paulina about me getting DA job. And that's how it's going to work out. So he said, like, Jada is out looking for me, and he's like, she already bought the idea that Arnold is Rafe, so what are you gonna do about it, right? So I don't know, at some point Rafe got the best of EJ and knocked him out clean. He said there's not gonna be a wedding today. So I don't know if he untied his hand, but EJ, if you really did, like, you're getting dumber and dumber each episode. Like, this is not the evil villain EJ that we all know and love, right? So he's losing his edge or his mark at this point. Maybe it's because of his whole escapades with Belle the day before. But yeah, that is it, guys. That was all to it. So don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow. Comment below your thoughts on today's episode. All right.